Susie Kasem said, "Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will." Failure is not the problem. It's actually the solution. It's our fear of failure that's the problem. When I was in college, I had the fortune of meeting the current student council president. And as she was telling me about the position, that it was a full-time job, it was her first job out of college, I found myself fascinated by that position. And I thought to myself, I can do this. I think I'd really be good at this. And I decided right then and there, I was going to run for student council president. And I wasn't going to allow the fact that I actually wasn't on the student council and that nobody on campus knew who I was except for my friends, the people in the karate club that I was the president of, and the girls I dated. Nobody else knew who I was. Yet, at the end of the election, 17% of the population who voted for me. Now, as you can imagine, that was not enough to win. When I found out that I lost the election, this is the first thought that entered my head, and it's the very first time in my life I could remember ever feeling this way. I said to myself, you did your best. It just wasn't meant to be. And I was okay with it. In the past, whenever I failed at something, I always said to myself, well, if I had given 100%, I would have done better, because I very seldom gave 100%. But this time I did. And even though I lost, remember, failure is not the problem, it's the solution. Even though I lost, I was okay with it. And here's what it did for me. Here's what this failure did for me. Every job I had moving forward, except for a couple that I really didn't like, I gave 100% every single time. Because I liked the feeling of giving 100%. And it caused me to succeed far more than I failed. All because of that experience of failing running for student council president. So in this 3-part video series, I want you to think about 3 questions if you're ever about to allow your fear of failure to cause you to freeze and not push forward and not take action. And the question we want to ask ourselves from this video: what must always precede success? Always. Failure. Failure always precedes success. Nobody was born successful. Michael Jordan was cut by his high school basketball team. Walt Disney was fired from the Kansas City Star, and his editor told him that he had no imagination and no good ideas. Sorry, I just find these things funny. Oprah Winfrey was fired from one of her first TV positions, and her producer said she was unfit for television. Thank God none of these people allowed their fear of failure to cause them to freeze and not push forward. Instead, they pursued their dreams. Now, we may not become Oprah Winfrey or Michael Jordan or Walt Disney, but we'll be able to achieve the vast majority of the dreams that we try out for if we don't allow our fear of failure to get in our way and we keep pushing forward despite them. As human beings, we learn far more from our failures than we ever will from our successes. It is the key to our success, our ability to learn from our mistakes. And as you make mistakes, you learn and you grow and you do it again, and you learn and you grow and you do it again. There is no success without failure. Thomas Watson, who was the CEO of IBM from the early to mid 1900s and took IBM into an international powerhouse, said, in order to succeed, there must be massive failure. If you want to increase your success rate, double your failure rate. He knew there was no success without failure. So before you allow your fear of failure to cause you to freeze, to not push forward, to not take action, this is the first question I want you to ask yourself. So if you enjoyed this video and you found it beneficial, please take a look at the next video. We're going to take a look at the second question that I'd like you to ask yourself before you allow the fear of failure to cause you not to push forward. Thank you for watching this video, and to your continued success.